Okay, just for your reference there for everybody, I'm recording this now. Okay, so what I'll say is, first of all, I'll start off and just introduce. So the presentation tonight is going to be about mastering the art of promoting and enrolling. Now, we definitely call it promoting and enrolling. We're part of GHB. We're also part of JFire, which is Craig and Lyndon's team and their wider business. So they use the word, just for your reference, they use the word recruitment. I've changed this presentation, so I'm going to allow you, if you want to listen to Craig's recording of it. Craig calls it recruitment. I've particularly removed the word recruitment because I believe and have been coached in the recent 6 months that I actually recruited several people. And that meant that I'd enticed them, or I'd thought that it was the best thing for them. And when I recruited them, they actually didn't do anything. They didn't actually join the business. They didn't really actually, they may have actually paid $23.72 or $39.56 to join if you're in the UK. But they actually didn't do anything with the business. They probably didn't even buy some of these people that I recruited. So I much prefer to use the language, and that's why I've adapted it to say promoting and enrolling. We can all promote, as I explained last week. Promoting is what we do when we promote a good book, a good meal, a good restaurant. So we share things that we're passionate about. So promoting, I think, is really important. And enrolment is actually a process and not an event. And I think recruiting somebody is more of an event, and therefore we tend not to support people properly if we recruit them. So I think it's important that we use the approach of promote and enroll. So tonight I'm about to take us through taking us through the mastering of the art of promoting and enrolling. So the first slide in the presentation is success tips. And I'm really just going to explain in the first intro that this is literally about how we master and what it is that we can do, every one of us can do. So last week's training, and it's, as I say, it's in the Facebook group and it's in the YouTube channel, was all about messaging one person a day. So I got a lot of feedback from the team saying that that they could all message one person a day and they could build a business the way that we were discussing. So this is the next part of the chapter really, and that is, let's say, in some respects, it's about why enrolling and promoting is so important to our businesses and why we should never stop. So if it was message one a day, that's telling us for the foreseeable future, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. It might take some people 5 years to sack their boss to work for themselves. Some people will never want to work this business full-time and will only ever want to work it part-time, but they will still need to promote, they will still want to promote, they will still need to enroll. So this is about how we can improve those skills around enrolling. Okay, next slide then is about the success tips that I can give to you guys this evening. Now, as I say, these success tips I have learned from coaching myself, and then people like Craig and Lyndon, Craig Schultz's presentation this is, have given me some really good insight, and really in the last few weeks they have actually really coached me. They've given me some one-on-one time, which is fab. So again, this is their tips, and I'm proud to be presenting it. So I'm not claiming that this is all mine, and if it's good enough for a diamond, it's got to be good enough for us, is what I believe. So the next slide is all about this promoting and enrolling. It's one of the most important parts of our business activities, and therefore, how do we go about mastering it? Well, if I say first and foremost, I was probably doing this, some of these things that I'm about to say. So again, what we shouldn't do here is actually criticize ourselves or beat ourselves up and tell ourselves that we were doing it wrong. Most people that join this business start in a way that is, they think the right way. Well, we're all set off on a journey, like I said last week, to engage, to improve, and to teach, to learn, and therefore to teach. So what I'm going to share with you here then is that I brought in about 10 people into the business. I didn't think, though, that those were the only 10 that I was going to bring in. But a lot of people do enroll a few people. Could be 5, could be as many as 10. And they feel when they've enrolled 10 that they have done their job. they actually get to a point where they feel that they should therefore step back from enrolling, and they should start to manage people. They should start to try and train them and promote them to how they should be doing it. But they feel that they've done their bit, and they haven't. If somebody has just enrolled 10 people and they stop, their business in the end will probably stop. So this is about leading by example, and management is not a business, not a word that we really want in this business. Reason why I say it's not a word, well, we don't want to be employed. We want to work for ourselves, don't we? We want to work in a way that's a team and a community. We want to work in a way that we support each other and pass on the learning, like Craig and guys passing it to me and me passing it to you guys. And over time, we'll train each other to get better and better. But the point here is it's not about management. Nobody wants to be managed, I don't believe, in network marketing and in Jeunesse and in this type of home-led business where we're entrepreneurs. So if you hear somebody say they've enrolled 10 or they've done their bit and now it's over to you or it's over to the team that you're building, you know that these people need some extra, I suppose, advice, motivation, get them into this call, let them listen to this recording. Their businesses are otherwise, my view, and Craig and team's view is it'll probably just wither and die. So, somebody who's just enrolled 10 and gives up or moves into management isn't the right approach. What we need to look at is how we therefore can look at the bigger future. Now, I'll give you one last analogy, I suppose, of enrolling just one. If I use the farming analogy, and most people have heard about sowing seeds and growing the seeds into plants, etc. But just think of it as planting. If you only enroll one person, that's one seed. And one seed is only going to grow into one plant. That isn't going to be a very good business. It's not going to be a very good crop for sure. Not going to be able to eat if we were in the old days in farming to eat. So what we say is plant a lot of seeds and you will grow a crop. And that's the message one a day that we were talking about. And that is the continuous part. Now, obviously, most of us in this business, and a number of you on this call will already know about the Sapphire level. If you don't know about it, don't worry. Again, go back to your leader, go back to the person who enrolled you. Contact me after this. I'm regularly in Facebook group. My details are going to be on the last slide of this as well, so you can email me. But the level of Sapphire is really the first key level in the business where we start to earn a good residual income, where we start to earn income from the building of a team side of this business. And so what we say is shoot for 30, and 32 is actually the number that is a Sapphire, but shoot for 30. If you start prospecting, so okay, I know I said last week that we should all message one a day, and I really do believe that is the holy grail. However, if you have the time and when you have the confidence and when you have finished this webinar and you've practiced it through a few times and understood all the different tips I'm going to give, you'll probably feel that you can prospect or you can promote this business to a few more than one a day. Now, my key, though, is do not put the pressure on yourself to do more than one a day. Little and often is more important than short bursts. Remember me last week talking about the pushing a car? It's very heavy to start with, and it actually gets easier the more it moves. And if we stop pushing it, it gets heavier again. Well, the point here is, yes, shoot for 30, but shoot for 30 in a regular and consistent way. It will give you the foundations to your business. So giving yourself the foundations to your business is how you're going to make the game change, is how you're going to be able to get what you want back from this. So if we get to the position of confidence very quickly, which I'm going to take you through further in this, and we are able to promote this business, and we're able to enroll 2 people, one on our left, we talked about a left team and a right team as well last week. We get to enroll 2 people, we've created an executive. That's meaning I'm promoted to an executive when I've enrolled 2 people into this business. That in its own right is the major step forwards. That is the big step in this type of business to you being able to duplicate. And if you can duplicate and therefore you can enroll 2, 3, 4, do you remember I said 1 a month? You will have a Sapphire. You will have a Sapphire business. And if we also go through last week's presentation again and have a look at the CV and how to get messaging one a day, 1,000 CV points out of each one of the people we enroll, and we're able to teach all the people that they enroll, you'll understand again from last week how much residual income you can make after a year. And that is, if you remember, was 333 cycles, which $35 a cycle gives us $11,655, which is pretty impressive. It's a six-figure income after only a year. So you can see why the enrollment and the promoting of this business is so important. If you only want to enroll 10 people, and that's where you want to stop at, I'd probably even say now it's not a business for you. It's going to be a very, very, very small part-time income. Okay, so that's not necessarily a total, this isn't for you, but it is a question that you need to ask yourself. Get back to your leader, and then come and talk to me. If you only want to enroll a very few people, then that's, again, it is fine, but I'll manage your expectations on a one-on-one, and we'll talk through what that will mean for you personally in business, and therefore, potentially it is for you or it isn't for you. Okay, the next slide in the presentation is why master the role of enrolling? Sorry, the art of enrolling. Why master the art of enrolling? Well, there are a few reasons, but let's just go through the main reason, which is the comp plan, the CAB, so customer acquisition, and the matching bonuses. The compensation plan that Wendy Lewis, our founder, created, and Wendy has consulted over this network marketing industry and other industries and created amazing compensation plans. Wendy Lewis, really knows how to create a reward plan that gives us enough income at the beginning, so when we start, and it also gives us the potential as we progress to our Sapphire and progress to then having Sapphire legs, so people that are duplicating and growing their own Sapphires. Wendy has created a plan that remunerates us well at the front end and keeps us interested and keeps our appetite in the business. And she's also created it so that those that are entrepreneurs, those that want to be have life-changing income, even rockstar income, can gain that as they step up through. So CAB, customer acquisition, from this compensation plan is one of the first key income streams that we, as we start our business. Now, as some of you know, I'm only 6+ months into this business. I've had many a CAB. I've enrolled lots of people, and I've gained some, therefore, very, very good income from CAB, customer acquisition. Customer acquisition, when we enroll somebody, we talked last week again about the combo being the entry, supreme packages being the mid, ambassador being almost the holy grail. If somebody's going to take this again seriously and really want to build a big business, they need to be looking at the ambassador for a number of reasons. But if we just take the CAB, it's $250 commission, customer acquisition bonus on the ambassador. It is what is it? Sorry, 150, I believe, on the Supreme, and it is $25 on the combo pack or the Illuminess pack. And some of us are soon to be getting the, I believe, the Zen pack, like the Americans have for the entry level. So those CAB commissions, they come immediately. They're paid immediately to you. They're really, really important. They stimulate your business. They reward you and pay you for the time that you've done in putting in to promote, to enroll, to start the education process. So they are important payment income streams. And as you progress and build a bigger business, those CABs will probably be fewer and further apart and won't be so critical and so important to your business as it is at the beginning. Now, if you only, as I was speaking to Lyndon Beernoff at the other day, he kindly gave me a call and gave me some coaching. He's going to be giving us all coaching after the Americas convention. He's got 2 pieces of coaching that he wants to do with us in the Diamond Destiny Network, which is fab. But what he does is he, on average, enrolls 2 people a month. 2 people a month. So you can see CAB for him, who's a double diamond, earning $3 million a year, I believe. CAB, therefore, somewhere around, even if he puts 2 in ambassador at $500 a month, isn't really that much to him. So it's more to us. You can see what Wendy's done. She structured it. It means a lot to me. It still means a lot to me now, but it will mean less to you as you grow your business, but it is critical. Okay, matching bonuses. The reason why we want to look at the Supreme package or the Ambassador pack is in particular because the matching bonuses that we can get paid at. So if you upgrade to an Ambassador pack like I did, you get rewarded as a Sapphire for 6 months, 180 days. You get paid there for matching bonus at 3 levels. 3 levels is really, again, an important income early days, and definitely when you're a diamond, definitely when you're further up the pay structure and remuneration structure. Why? You can get up to 30% matching bonus of your direct sign-in, and you can get up to 20% of the person below. I think it's 25, below, 20 below that, and then drops down to 15 and 10 and so forth. So if you are only at the first level and you only get paid on matching bonus to 1 level below you, that is therefore only going to be potentially a 20% level, and it's only going to be paid on 1. Now, I have in the 6 months, I have over 300 people below me in my genealogy. Giles, who I've enrolled into, as most of you know, who is my business partner in this network that we have built. He has all of mine and his. So Giles has coming up to 1,000 in the same length of time that we've been doing this. And so Giles's matching bonus is phenomenal. So every time I get a cab and every time I get some cycles, Giles gets 20% or 30% of every penny that I make. So you can see the reason why he doesn't just get my CV and the cycles, therefore, that come up to him. The CV that comes up to him to help him cycle more, he gets my matching bonus. He gets 20% of my matching bonus or 30% of my matching bonus. So it is a really, really key bit. So the more we enroll frontline to us and the more that we train these people, at the early days in particular, cab is important, but we get more cab and then we basically get more matching bonus. So it's really important. And Sapphire legs are really, really important as you climb up through the director. Now, I'm very fortunate that a lot of my team, my leaders, are shooting for Sapphire. So I have about 16 people currently. They're 16 legs, because I've enrolled that many front line to me. 16 legs are shooting for Sapphire. So my job has got to be to help them get to Sapphire, help them enroll people, help them and motivate them, learn as much from the uplines, from the diamonds as possible and pass it on, get the best training. Why? Because those Sapphire legs give me more matching bonus. And as you know, and some of you may know, it only takes 6 Sapphire legs and obviously a good number of cycles a month, but 6 Sapphire legs on the whole will deliver you as a diamond. And if I've got 16 currently shooting for Sapphire, I should get there for 6 or 7 of those, ideally getting there in the next year. Some of them may still take longer, so it may take me a couple of years to get to diamond. But you can see why it's so important to enroll people directly into you, and it's important for you to train them for the matching bonuses and cab. Okay, moving on from that, why master the art of enrolling? Enrolling gives us a full control of our business. It means, as I've just shown you there, if my business, for any reason, isn't performing how I want it to, if I want to earn some more money through the commissions and matching bonuses, etc., what do? I get onto the enrolling process. I promote it and I enroll. My target personally is anything between 2 and 6 people a month now to enroll frontline. And there's an obvious reason for that. If I enroll too many people, I can't give them the care, as I've got quite a big team. But if I stop enrolling, you've just heard me say, I'm going to find people that aren't going to perform, people that find it more difficult for some reason or another, that I can't help because they decide that it's not for them. And this will help me. Enrolling people will help me fix my business if I have a problem. So one is, I believe enrolling gives me control. 2 is it enables me to have momentum. Momentum is energy. Energy gives me the passion and will to continue. I'm sure it does all of you guys. And then the next thing is, as it's saying here, and I've got it written down, that is absolutely critical. Any business that has an issue, has a problem, so you could be at the top of the tree and you could actually have some serious leaders in your group decide to drop out for any reason. It could be illness. It could be that they've decided that it's not for them. They could have made enough money and just go pretty dormant and only just sit there and just carry on. It could be early days of starting out that half of your people that join decide that it's not for them. There's numerous reasons, and it is unfortunate, and I hope it doesn't happen ever for any of us and for you guys. But if it does, Craig has reassured me a million times over on the phone in the last few weeks. He has reassured me enrolling 10 new people, he believes passionately, fixes the problem in your business. It fixes the momentum. It fixes the cab. It fixes the matching bonus. So again, if you remember that simple step in there, that if you have an issue, and you may say, oh my gosh, it's really hard to enroll 10 people. We'll go back to it. Message one a day. It might take you therefore 10 months to fix it, but little and often will fix it. So you're going to hear me say, before we have a problem, why don't we carry on then? If we message one a day and bring 2 in as a retail customer or as a wholesale customer, and 1 enrolls with us a month, we'll never have a problem, will we? We're always building and protecting for the future. Okay? You inspire your team, and your team will basically enroll. I believe passionately that that's how I have driven my business. I think my passion, and hopefully some of you can tell from this, but those of you that were in Paris with me and those that have had one-on-ones with me, and you can all have one-on-ones with me by all means at the moment, just contact me. You will understand that if I inspire them, they will basically inspire their team, and they will go forth and enroll and promote. So for me, the psychology of this, the psychology of what this is about, is really, really, really important. It's probably the most important part, having the right mindset and belief. And thankfully, again, guys that are on this call in particular that I've seen and we introduced yourselves, have that mindset, which is refreshing, and it helps me. There's all of us, I should say, also will have good days and bad days, and we all need the team when we have a bad day, and we all need the team when we have a good day. I can wake up in the morning, get 4 or 5 people that have told me they're doing something, tell me that they've got an issue. I've got to deal with all of their issues potentially, and then I might have taken some of that negative on. What do? I get onto 2 or 3 of my team. I talk to them. I might not even tell them that I'm using them at that moment for their positive energy back, but that's all about the psychological side of it. Okay, we've probably all heard about the one enrollment that can change the life of your business and change your life in turn. Well, I don't recommend that you all bank on this. I do not recommend that you go hunting for this, because that is I think the negative. We all think if we all think we can sign that big fish, I can assure you, until you are a diamond, you'll find it very, very difficult to enroll a big fish. I've had a number come to me in the recent time, and I mean 1 in the last 24 hours and 1 in the last week. And I can assure you, I got very excited and I got absolutely nowhere. 1 big fish, I did a 3-way call with a diamond, and it still didn't really get anywhere. So I'm saying to you, don't go hunting for the 1 big fish or the 1 big hunt. But what I am saying is, by enrolling and by doing the 1 a day, sharing 1 a day, I am saying to you that there are plenty of true stories, plenty of real stories. Just speak to Craig. Get him on Facebook. He's in our group. Message him. He will basically come online. He'll tell you himself the true story, how he enrolled somebody, and then they enrolled somebody who just shared the product with somebody who bought product, who then that person who bought product shared it with somebody, and they weren't enrolled to build a business. They just shared it because they loved the product. And that person enrolled, and that person has enrolled thousands of people worldwide. And they are downline from Craig. So the point of this is not hunting for that big fish. It is actually saying the more you enroll, the more people you put front line, the more you look after your team, the more you coach your team, the more chance of you finding, or your team finding, or it just naturally happening that somebody with quite big momentum enrolls. Now, last story that I'm going to say on this point is Giles and myself. If you had exposed this business to me a year ago, there would have been no chance that I'd have been joining you. Okay? Any of you guys had exposed me and shared with me and promoted. So it was all about timing. It became the right time, and Giles showed me the business, and he wasn't even really enrolling. We were looking at product. We were distracted by retail, and we were just selling, and that was it. And then we saw the strategy and the full set of products. So my own personal story and Giles's personal story is we then saw the opportunity that I'm going to come to later in this, and we enrolled and we built a business. And so the upline from us had no idea. We haven't been in. Giles was 20 years ago, was in network marketing and was phenomenal, but he hasn't been in for 20 years. I've never been in. So we enrolled and we built 1,000 people in whatever it was, 5 months. And that is duplicating now massively. And the uplines from us, we have been told, we were told in Paris, we really massively help those uplines get to diamond. So even us joining, you joining, and you joining your friends that join, 1 or 2 of them might become that big fish. Now, I'm saying don't hunt for them, just enroll and see what happens, because it's fate and destiny that the speed of this business is growing. Okay, so into the tips. Now, as I stressed earlier, I do believe in these, and I do have the belief, which is the first tip. But these are written by Craig, so I'm not plagiarizing. I've had his permission because I watched and listened to this and thought, this is a presentation I have to share with my team. I have to share with the Diamond Destiny guys. So these are not in order, chronological. You don't have to take tip 1 as the number 1 thing you've got to do and tip 2 as the number 2. You just got to realize there's 14 tips in here. So I'm going to rattle through them as quickly as I possibly can. Again, you can come back and ask me for more detail on any one of these at any time. Okay, so the first tip, belief. If you have belief, then you will share, you will promote the book, the movie, the meal. It is about belief. Now, listen to this. It says it on this slide for those of you that can see it. If you have 1% of doubt, it will override the 99% of belief. It can be that morning that you got up, as I said, and there is some, the roof falls in, the water tank bursts. But that could put negativity into you that makes you feel disbelieving that day. Now, it might be just as easy as changing rooms, ringing somebody up and getting that belief back. But what I say is, if you do not have belief in this business, the industry, the products, Jeunesse, if you don't have belief in yourself, you might want to get some self-coaching. Now, there is some great self-coaching in this business, Jeunesse. If you want some self-coaching, specifics on the psychology of building yourself, your confidence, etc., let me know. I'm very happy to again run some seminars. I'm very happy to run some one-on-ones. Again, I've been privileged to hang around with some very, very clear geniuses in my career, and so I have some good ways of instilling belief and confidence into people. But my point is, you can go and get belief by looking at your own posture. You can actually get belief by hearing yourself. Recording these type of things. I'm partly recording this so that I can hear how concise and precise I am. Most of you that know me well will know that I'm not very concise and precise. So I've got some learning to do constantly. But belief is the number 1 thing, not the number 1 tip, but the number 1 thing I do believe you have to have in something, whether it's this or anything else. You have to have belief to be able to be the top of your game in it. Otherwise, you're doing it half-hearted, and then you will, I'm sure, change your mind And the minute you change your mind, that's the 1% of doubt. So just to recap one last time on this, because I think it's really important to get the mindset of having the belief. It is about basically learning more about the business, Janess. It is learning more about the products. It is about getting onto these webinars regularly. It is about basically sharing them with your team. It is about basically co-presenting. Maybe one of you, two of you, maybe 10 of you want to run these. We will train you guys to run these. We're looking for you guys to basically be doing what I'm doing. And we're looking for that to share the load as well. So belief comes from your upline. It becomes from the coaching. Now, if you don't have belief in the industry, I shared it with a lot of you at the weekend. Eric Worre's movie he's made called Rise of the Entrepreneur. Some of you have seen it before. If you haven't, I 100% recommend you watching it. It's a movie about 40 minutes long. He interviews not just people in our industry, but a lot of people outside our industry. And he makes a compelling argument and compelling reason why this business called network marketing is the future of business, why technology has helped it step change. So if you haven't got belief in the industry or you hear doubters out there, then you can share that type of movie or information with them. So belief is really paramount. Okay, tip number 2 here is vision. And vision is about, again, setting and sharing your vision. A lot of people have heard me again talk about creating their why. GHB, Global Home Business, which we're all part of and get the system and training, is just about to run a series of coaching parts to getting your why, setting out your why. Now, I will help anybody set out their why. And I believe that you should help your team in that first few phone calls, that first few messages, the first few tools you share. Because if you set out their why and you hear with them what their why is about, then you can help them build the business that will deliver that why for them. It is the bit that is going to keep them committed. It is the bit that's going to bring them and keep them in the business, their business, not my business, not your business, their business that they've joined for themselves. So sharing the vision and your vision, and I'm going to share mine right at the end of this, but sharing your vision and having your story and working out that story so that you can tell it very easily is really, really important, okay? So what we also want to do here is understand that we might want to capture this type of vision from seminars that are just in our national area. So, you know, Global Home Business does UK and European communication. It then does some in Australasia. It does it in America. The same as JFire. So why I'm saying this is cultures can be very different, and they can have very different ways of setting visions and setting their own desires and their own wants and their own whys. Generally, it's global these days, but if you feel that you're from a different area or you're from a different culture, or you're promoting, you know, you may be promoting to the Philippines, which is on fire at the moment. Brazil's just come online. You may be looking at Mexico. You may be looking at Europe, which is the biggest growth area that Janess believes for the next 2 years. So you may be looking at different cultures around Europe, and therefore it may be about basically working more locally. And if it is, again, come back to me and I can point you in the right direction of a diamond from that area or a leader. I can point you in different ways, and I can point you to diamonds that are coaching people in those areas. So again, vision comes from you. Vision is something you set out yourself, but it is also something you can partner with to do that. Last thing I'll say again on vision is you may have heard of the tool. We're going to, again, record something in detail about this, but it's about basically using a postcard, the size of a postcard, that little, 4 inches square on the back, and writing your vision. One way of writing a vision is close your eyes, look into the future 5 years from now, and write the postcard home from the future. Write that future back and send it to yourself. Where are you sitting? What lifestyle do you have? What are you driving in the car? What are you eating? What are you doing with friends? Where are you living? What's the house like? What job are you doing? Are you still in Jeunesse? Have you retired? I don't know what your vision is, but the why and the vision that surrounds is really, really important. So use a postcard, close your eyes, spend 5 minutes thinking about the future, and then write it down. It only needs to be that size. It doesn't want to be longer, and then you can share it with your team. You can share it with me, and we can then help you with your story, with your vision, and we can build a game plan for your team. You can build the game plan through their why and through the vision. Okay, on to the next one. Making enrolling fun. Now, this has got to be critical, hasn't it? If it's not fun, why do we want to do it? So, again, here am I talking to you guys this evening. I find this immense fun. Why do I find it fun? I find it fun because I have to go off and learn something. I find it fun because then I practice and I get better at it. And then I find it fun because I get the opportunity to share it with all of you. Of course, I get nervous. And, of course, standing on stage, I get nervous. But that's because I care. But enrolling is exactly the same as that. If we learn what it's about and why it's not recruitment in my clear view and why it is enrollment and it is about promoting, is because it will become fun. So treating it as a process, like panning for gold, is the critical thing. You're not going to find golden nuggets in every single thing you do. You're not going to find a leader in every single person that you enroll. And as we talked about previously, last week, not everybody should be enrolling to be a business person and a team person. I believe that you guys can build a solid business and a big business, and those commissions can come from the wholesale side. So if you enroll 10 people who buy product at half price or 45% off as wholesale, you're still enrolling them. Yep, I've enrolled so many people that just buy product, and then they've decided that it was actually for them. I've enrolled so many people in this business that have just bought product wholesale. So enrolling has to be, enrolling has to be fun. Now, enrolling people isn't going to be an overnight thing. Now, I can reassure you that there's a lot of people I'm still talking to today, 6 months after I started, that I'm still hoping, I still think it's the right thing for them, and I still have belief that they will continue to look as they keep offering to look at it. And I believe timing in the enrolment process is absolutely critical. So I haven't been in 1 to 2 years, but Craig, when you hear Craig's version of this, he tells me and tells us that that he is clearly still prospecting, still marketing to actually the first few people that he promoted the business to, because at the moment it's not the right time for them. So making this fun and looking for gold and having fun whilst doing it is absolutely critical, again, to this type of business. Okay, number 4, the fundamentals of enrolling. Now, it's pretty obvious, the first thing I'm going to say, have a big list. Now, I'm not sure of all the age of people on this phone call and on this webinar, but if you're anywhere into your 30s, you are going to basically have at least 2,000 people that you have in your mental Rolodex, whether it's in your phone and you manage to save it all there. If you're younger than that, you are probably going to have maybe half that amount. But you will always come into contact with people, so you can always be expanding your Rolodex. That doesn't mean to say you jump on them and start trying to enroll them immediately. But what we say in the first instance is get a piece of paper, definitely write it down. Don't leave it in the Rolodex of your mind or in your phone. I made, again, the calamity of an error. I messaged everybody that was in my Facebook group that I felt that was my own Facebook profile that I thought was going to be interested. And that was probably 200 or 300 I messaged within the first week. And I followed up on most of those, if not all of those people. Now, following up's coming up as a tip. But the point I'm making here is that that list had to be written down. To be able to follow them up, I used a digital bit in my messenger and went back. I used a text and I used that way. But then I realized I was getting to message too many people and I wasn't keeping on top of it. So I believe that writing it down and using a method. So it can be a list, it can be a mind map, it can be a diary, it can be a book, it can be your messenger in your phone, it can be your text. But I believe that it's easier if you can see it like a database in front of you. You can write it down and you can see that list. When you write that list down, so those of you that are going to do and should do, and you're going to get my 6 tips for starting your business, 6 ways of getting your business going, GHB has a start right, start fast, and that talks about EYK, everyone you know list. Write that everyone you know list. I think you should put at least 200 people down on that list to start with. And then you should look to segment that list. And the segmenting of the list, I think, is the most critical bit. Now, people say we don't like, and the British in particular in this call will probably relate to this, but I'm hearing it more and more globally as well, but we don't like to communicate and promote to our family. Well, I'm going to come back to something to do with that, but segmenting and segmenting by, first of all, an open-minded group, so people who are prepared to listen, people who are go-getters like you guys are on this call, people who are interested in new products, people that are interested in anti-aging. So if you basically segment into they're open-minded and prepared to listen, go-getters, etc., that is one segment. Call that your A segment. A B segment, they're passionate people. They're passionate about new age. They're passionate about, say, nutrition or skincare. They may be passionate, like I said, about instantly ages. Be passionate about anti-aging. They may be passionate about one product. But the point here is they are people that actually have passion. Open-minded the first, passion the second. The third, the group C, is your family, friends. Now, as I say, I hear a lot of people say, I don't really want to share it with my family and my friends. I'm saying categorically to you right now, if you do not have the confidence and desire to promote it to your family and friends, why would you promote it to anybody else? That means you don't have belief, in my view. It probably means that this business isn't for you, or the products aren't for you. The business model might be, but it might be better for you to go and have a look at another industry product range. The reason why I'm going to say that is, it's good enough for me to take. It's good enough for me to tell all you guys in this to take it. It's got to be good enough for me to promote it to my 76-year-old mum. And I do, and she does. And she just had 2 boxes of reserve gels. She's been on the Luminous serum for the last 6 months. She's decided that, at 76, she's actually quite happy with her wrinkles. And she hasn't got that many, by the way. And that's probably why she's now listening to her son say to her, well, Mum, do you not want to be on that cruise or that trip or that holiday in 5, 10, 15 years when you're 90? Do you want to still be? Well, look at the antioxidants. Look at the resveratrol. Watch this video. My mum was like, what, can I have a box, please? Absolutely. And yes, I'm going to tell you I do sell it to my mum because it's the only way that my mum is going to properly take it. If I give it to her, I quite often go around and she's got another brand's product I bought her for Christmas still in the box because she likes it and looks at it, but she decides it's too precious because it was free and it's a gift. So I do make my mum pay for it and she pays wholesale. So segmenting, if it's good enough for me, it's got to be good enough for my family and my friends. Look for like-minded people in there, people that you trust, people that respect, people that you want to really share this with. So friends, family, contacts. I can assure you, go through and contact half the people in the leaders in Diamond Destiny, and you're going to find half of them have known me for a long time. They come off of my EYK, my everyone I know list. So it's got to be good for me. It's got to be good for you. If it's good enough for the diamonds, it's definitely got to be good enough for you guys as well. So D is referral. Now this is probably the hardest of all. So we want to basically separate out of this, again, sort of the wheat from the chaff. These people, the referral group, are quite often the group that basically are negative. They think the sky's falling in every morning. If you gave them a gold bar, a bullion bar, they'd say, blimey, it's heavy. They're not looking at the golden nugget. The weight is more important than actually the wealth in it. These people are always half glass empty, not full. So my view is these people are still valuable. So don't cross them off and don't diss them off. But what you want to do is you want to talk to them, because there's going to be reasons why you are friends with them, why you know them, why you respect them. And you can use the indirect. Go into GoPro if you haven't had the book and bought the audio book. I heavily recommend, but also buy the paperback, GoPro by Eric Worre, and use and learn the ways called direct, indirect, and indirect. Now, in here, the indirect approach is to your referrals. You'd say to them that this isn't for them, and you would share with them that they are, respectfully brilliant in business. You like them because of this. You've known them since you grew up, whatever it is, from the football team. But you are saying this is not for them, but that you respect them. And will they look at the business? Will they look at the video? Would they try the product? Because you think they'd love the product. But more importantly, though, you would like them to share it with 5 or 10 of the people in the football club, or at the church, or from your school days, or you used to work with. So again, using the referral is not for them. That gives you 4 clear segments. So one last time over this, because I think this is critical to the people who will not approach and will not write an EYK list and only want to go after cold. It's always 10 times harder to go after cold than it is to go off of your EYK, your warm and hot list. So segmenting here is so critical. Open-minded people is my A group. My passionate people about nutrition or healthcare and so forth. My passionate people are my group B. Friends and family and contacts are my group C. Now, they may end up just being the people that you decide to promote that buy the product, and they then promote it on to people who buy, who then but somebody who wants to join. And then the referral, the people in the world is caving in, the sky's falling in, they're just not interested, and they wouldn't be interested in anything. So you use the indirect approach. Okay. Then I'm going to say it gets easy in making these enrollments. If you've enrolled it and promoted it to your mum, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, your friends, your cousins, your mates down the pub, and they get what you're on about, they might take the mickey. You don't want to be the bore at the party, just going on about it. But when you've enrolled some of those people, you're going to get even more buzz. You're going to get even more commitment, even more passion back into your business, and it's going to become easier. Yeah, you practice talking to the people. So practice talking to your mum. Practice talking to your brother, your sister. They'll tell you basically whether you're any good at talking about it yet and whether they get it. My mum gets it. My sister half gets it because she consumes half the products, but she still tells me she doesn't get the other 3. Now, that means there's 3 more opportunities, the way I look at it. And you can imagine me, I'm always looking for opportunity. So practice makes perfect. Yep, use your leads for support. Use your leaders. That's a clear word that I got wrong. Use your leaders. Use people like me for support. 3-way calls, which you're going to come on to. But use your leaders to learn. Okay, 20-minute presentations with leaders. 20 times presenting with leaders will help you become that leader yourself. Okay, got to rattle through these. I'm looking at the time and seeing it's cracking on. So number 5 is warm market. We've just talked a bit about that, so I won't basically go too far into detail. But I have said that if you won't approach your warm market, it does send an alarm bell off. So when you start enrolling somebody, and somebody actually even enrolls to just try the products, or enrolls just to buy the products wholesale, or is even thinking, but then they say they're not going to basically contact their warm market, I would always say, alarm bell, think twice, go through, bring them, to this type of webinar, bring a leader in, start talking to them, start training them. Don't write them off. Don't swear at them. Don't just try and bully them. Don't try and recruit them. Recruiting is about making somebody believe that it's right for them. They get in and it's definitely not right for them. So promote it and the right way and share with them, and they will believe in it. I am going to use the same analogy here as Craig. I couldn't promote cigarettes. I was offered in my previous life as a top branding consultant and agency. I was offered many a time to work with people like cigarette companies. There's a lot of money. Any money they put on the table would not pay me to work for them, to help them design branding and marketing and stuff, to help them sell products that I excuse me, don't believe in and believe is actually going to do harm to the world. So you can only promote something if you believe in it, get that belief, and then you'll go after your warm market. I believe you will. Okay, number 6, understanding your prospects. There is a program, a seminar and a webinar that I'm going to get off of the Diamonds called Colours to Success. It talks more about the segmenting and it drills deeper into the segmenting. And I think the segmenting of my EYK list is actually the more critical thing for me to grow my business and to get it even more entrepreneurial, to get even more entrepreneurs into my business. So again, I'm going to find that, I'm going to learn it, understand it, and I'm going to share it with you guys. You can ask a lot of questions, and you should ask a lot of questions. So understanding your prospects is really about asking them questions. The more questions you ask, the better you're going to know about them. You know, you can subtly ask them about their why, or you can directly ask them about why this might be interesting. What do they want to earn? How much time can they put into this? Where are they in their lives? What do they want out of the next 5 years? You know, why do they want to sack their boss? What is it that is going to get them out of bed and keep them in this type of business? But asking those questions, you get to know people better. Okay, do your research. If somebody gives you a business card, or you hear from somebody gave me a business card the other day. In the UK, there is a business called Neil's Yard. Every single company, I can assure you, from my past life, are getting into this business called network marketing and direct to customer. So anybody who tells you it's not the future, I can show you categorically it is. I've said it before, Boots, Tesco's, they would buy this business tomorrow, Jeunesse if they could, but they can't because it's private. But the minute you get a business card off of somebody, or you get a name, you should research them. You should dig into them the same way as you should be digging into these products and understanding this business is for you, understanding why Jeunesse is right for you. Look at them, research them. You have LinkedIn, you have Facebook, there's enough social media. Google search them, you know, look for them, and then understand. When you then talk to them, building a rapport on the phone, I've always gone and looked on LinkedIn and seen the last 4 or 5 jobs they've done. I kind of then find something I can relate to them, which I'm going to come on to as well. So doing your research about the person, doing your research will enable you to build that rapport. Okay, the mirror test. The mirror test is absolutely critical. This is the personal part of it. This is about you. This is about the me part in this business. Why would somebody join my business? Why would you join my business? Why have some of you joined my business? If I can look in the mirror and I can understand, you know, and positively present and understand the business, understand why I'm, you know, I think a good leader and wanting to be the best leader, and therefore I'm going to tirelessly challenge myself to be the best and improve. You know, I believe people will want to join me. If I look in that mirror and I think, I'm a bit underconfident, I'm a bit meekish, I've got my shoulders all round today, you know, I don't know why. You know, if I start in the mirror and I'm feeling that, then I can assure you everybody else will see it and they will not want to join you, however much effort you put in at all. So if you need the personal development side of it, again, contact me by all means. I'll happily do some one-on-ones. I'll also tell you again, my own personal story. I did a thing called cognitive behavioural therapy, CBT. I'm not shy to say that I did it. At one point in my career, and it was when I owned my own business, people basically were not doing what they said they were going to do. I didn't understand why, and it began to annoy me and agitate me. And in the end, I wasn't necessarily happy with myself. I wasn't, you know, suicidal or anything like that, and I'm not ashamed to say. I went and spoke to somebody who actually pointed out a few key things to me and helped reset me. So I had my own self-belief fully back at 100%. I had my own self-confidence. So people will join people with that passion and that confidence. As I said, your posture. You're creating your own personal brand. Personal brands are the biggest things in growth around the globe right now. So, you know, buy your own URL in your own name if you can. Definitely get your name as you have done on Facebook. They're all your personal brand. Your personal brand has a whole history. You know, don't post stuff you wouldn't want anybody to ever hear or know. Don't publicise it. Don't PR it. Don't put it into social media. If you're going to have a bad moment, go and have it on your own in that mirror. But my point here is build your personal brand. It is going to carry you a long, long way. And believe you me, it is not just about Jeunesse in the next 3, 4, 5, 10 years. It is about the long-term future. Your kids, my grandchildren, the personal brand is going to be critical to the future, where social media, technology is only going to get more. Artificial intelligence is only going to get more. So personal brand is so important. Okay, facts tell, stories sell. This is something that is so important. Facts tell, stories sell. I'm, as I say, going to share a bit more of my story at the end, but mastering your story, why you're doing it, your vision, what you want to get out of it is so important. People will follow you with your own vision and your own story. People don't want to know the facts about the product at that moment. I want to know why Liz, basically, I want to know why Annette is in this business and why they want to do this business and why I might want to join them and follow them. You know, for me, it's really important. Your story is the most important thing that you have to create in the next few hours, days, definitely within the next week or so. And you need to perfect it. And you need to realize that story does not want to be delivered in entirety on everybody. Okay, mastering the Jeunesse story. That is the easy one here. There was enough webinars. There was an opportunity one tonight. I dipped into it for 10 minutes, realized it's exactly what I've presented many times over. So I dipped out so I could spend more time on this presentation and learning it. Okay, Jeunesse story, they are recorded. I will do them as many times as you guys want. The opportunity to be shared with your teams and your prospects. Jeunesse's opportunity story is one that you can learn, and if you don't know it fully, get to a big event, get to a national event, get to a local event, put on a local event and invite me to come and present at it, and I'll present with you 20 times until you've got that story. I'll hand the mic to you pretty much as soon as you're ready, and I'll coach you until you're ready. But that Jeunesse story is easy, the easiest one there, second probably to your own story, but easy. Okay, mastering the industry story, I'd say is slightly harder, but it's out there. It's in our presentation regularly that we give. It's in GHB. Cliff Walker gives it on a Tuesday and a Thursday at 8 p.m. It's the Jeunesse and the industry story, and therefore why people should join Jeunesse along with the products. So mastering the industry, I'm going to say just a couple of key things about the industry, which I think are really important to you guys, and that is that there are 5 key trends happening in the world, and if you don't know them, as I say, they're in the presentations. But these 5 key trends are things like social media. They are social media. They are home businesses. They are internet automation. They are technology being e-commerce, and they are also anti-aging. Those are the 5 global trends, and they are leading big businesses and little businesses to huge step change. Technology is making humans redundant, and humans becoming redundant means that they have to find something else to do, which progresses it and is innovation. It's happened every single time. And when you actually see a generation be made redundant, you can actually, rather than getting all political about it, you can say that means we're just in the process of another industrial or technology revolution going on. So look on the bright side and find out what that is, because in technology revolutions, people will always become casualties, but that's why we have to keep in learning and improving. So mastering the industry that we're in, and I'll just give you a couple of big stats, but $200 million in this industry called the network marketing industry or the direct-to-customer industry, $200 million are paid out in commissions every single day. 200 million are paid out in every single day. I'd like a little piece of that. I'd like a big piece of it, not 200 million a day, but I'd like a little bit more than I'm currently getting, so I'm going to progress. But the industry story is critical. Okay? Pitching that in a way that people will understand with passion is really, really critical. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Okay? onto your own story, as I've touched on, and telling that story in a relevant way to the person. So giving you 4 different customer segments and customer groups, look at how you adapt your story to those customer segments and customer groups. As I say, it isn't relevant if I tell my whole story to every group, but make it relevant. Listen, ask questions, and then find the right angle. You know, if they're an entrepreneur and they've started their own business, guess what? I have, so I can relate to them. If not, find somebody else's story, Doug's story, and relate it to them. Okay? Find the angle that's relevant. Find the common ground. The common ground. There are enough people presenting, enough people sharing stories at the events, on these webinars, on these training calls, etc. You know, ask people what their story is. You will hear stories from all different types of people. The stay-at-home mum, the person who was a TV celebrity or a national speaker, a politician. You know, you'll find all the different types of people have come into this business and they're in this business and they're doing well. So you can pick their stories. If your story you don't feel is actually that great, you feel it's a bit flimsy, you know, use a few other people's stories to pepper your communication that makes it relevant. Okay, so the next point here is the ABC, the game plan, ABC. This is going to be very critical, guys, but let's just pick on what I think is the Holy Grail. Craig says it as well. Most of the diamonds do, and you'll see the reason why they got the diamonds. And we're all going to start by saying people are not going to buy an ambassador. Well, no, the majority of people are not going to upgrade to an ambassador pack, not just because of the price, just because they don't want all the products. There's many reasons why somebody is not going to upgrade to an ambassador. But the Holy Grail, number 8, pitching your business in a way that shares with people so they do, or some of those people do, join with an ambassador pack, and they do want to get trained within 24 hours. They do want to start enrolling and get 2 people enrolled within 48 hours and definitely within 7 days. But they do want to get the Sapphire in, you know, a month and definitely within 90 days. And they jump on the Shoot for Sapphire program, which you can all learn about. And you can do that by going to shootforsapphire.com, by the way. So, again, that's just looking at another program that we have. But there are enough people, and I've said to you, it might only be 1 out of 10. You know, it might only be 1 out of 30 that join your business. And that one who joins may join with an ambassador pack. They may only join with a Supreme pack. They may only join, actually, to experience the product. And if they only join to experience the product, they may end up joining and building a team in the longer run. But B here, game plan B, is where somebody joins for just the product. Now, you heard me last week talk about, as I said earlier, the promote 1 a day, message 1 a day, and bring 2 retail customers. There can be wholesale retail customers. And if they come in because they want better value for money, now I'm going to be, again, very open. I've had about 5 or 6 people come to me with conversations, either their prospects on 3-way calls or ones that I've even talked to personally, and they have said these products are too expensive for their region, for their current market that they market to. I've told them, Costco, 45% off. What isn't to like about it? There is no barrier now. They've said to me the price initially, and I've told them where they can now pitch it. They've then joined the business because they can see that they now can promote it to wholesale people. And wholesale people will buy product, use it for themselves. I've also said to people, you know, listen to me, this, I said it to my mum, as I've said, it's good enough for my mum. You know, take it, mum, for 100 days. Tell me what you think. I reckon you'll feel 100% better in 100 days. I can assure you, my sister right now, she would tell you, you can Facebook her, she will tell you, my sister has not been well. She's actually had pneumonia recently, which I'm pretty gobsmacked because I thought she was a healthy girl. She's not very old. But it just is a cold that got bad on her chest. Guess what product I promoted to her? And guess what she's gone and got a box off of my mum? The Reserve gels. My point is, I've said to her, you know, take 3 a day, which is what they say the maximum you can take. So you can see how this is working here. Game plan B is about promoting the products. Now, C, the referral. We've been, so I won't go through it again in major detail. But you can see what I'm saying there on the referrals bit. Use the indirect approach. Okay, number 10. Number 10 is the three-way call. Your three-way call is about basically picking a expert like myself or one of the other directors or Diamond Director to help you out in a call. And you position them, you put them into the call, and then they basically will do the Q&A, and they will present the information that person needs, and that will really help your business. America, it has been game-changing. In Australia, Craig tells me it's been game-changing. So again, look more into three-way calls, set them up professionally, follow up, put a date in a diary, call them when you said, even if it means that it's not for them, but you follow up 3 months later or 6 months later when we get a new product launching or a new tool coming out or a new video. Okay, it's the best practice, it's the best way of working. So number 11, I'll rattle through this one very quickly as well. Number 11 is like playing a game of chess. As we start this business, we get into pieces and we put them out on the chessboard. And as we progress and learn, we start to move the pieces forwards and backwards. And that is where we expose or share and promote this business to people. And what we do again is we say to them, here, watch this video link about the products, or have a look at this about the business opportunity, or have a look about the industry, or have a look at Jeunesse. Whatever the different things are that we promote, it's going to move us forwards, and people are going to ask us more questions which might move us backwards. So this is about playing chess. It's about moving. And as long as we're moving, we're progressing and we're gaining. Okay, it's as simple as that. Next one I have here is the fortune in following up. The fortune in following up, said it at the beginning, the biggest trait that I know changed my last business and me personally was being a professional in marketing and business development and following up. And making sure that every person I've touched or communicated to, I follow up. And I put a date in my diary. I always get a time commitment. Even if it becomes flimsy and they say to me, oh, it will be within the next 24 hours or 48 hours, I come back with a clear, can I ring you then at Wednesday at 6 o'clock, same time? The more passionate, more committed, more confident you are, they will give you that time slot. You can ring them, you text them. Sometimes they're not there. They're not there because they weren't ever going to be there. So just don't worry about it. But you might follow them up again in 3 weeks, in 3 months. I follow up. I've got 1,500 people that have contacted me through my marketing approach. And of that 1,500, majority have not joined. But I am still in contact. And that's why I still get my 6 a month inbound, coming back. It's all about the timing. It's all about the following up. It's all about sharing new tools. It's all about reasons too. Now, a lot of you may have got from me yesterday the video link to Eric Worre's Rise of the Entrepreneur. That's because I want to follow up. Even with my team, I'm following up. So timing is everything. When you enroll people, they will do the same. Okay, social media. I'm not going to go through and train the social media tonight. Eric, in the GHB system, Global Home Business System, we have a fantastic series of webinars, series of the biggest and most professional guy in the world called Max Steingart. He runs a once a month social media training. So get into that. If you really want to get really heavily into it, you can join a paid program that he does, but definitely do the free training. What I am going to say to you is I use LinkedIn and Facebook. LinkedIn because it's people in business selling themselves, so they're receptive, and they don't want you to be a sledgehammer to crack a nut, but they definitely are open to you communicating in a non-salesy way because they are trying to sell themselves. They're looking for jobs, basically. Third of those people in there are looking for jobs, third of those people in there are recruiting, and a third of those people in LinkedIn are just dormant, and they haven't worked out why they're in there. Okay, so social media being Facebook, a lot of you know this, it's got to be 9 out of 10 communications about relationship, about friends. There's a lovely saying, you talk about friends or family, recreation or occupation, and then you message. So from family or friends, recreation, occupation. So you talk about recreation, you talk about occupation, and then you get to the message about what you're talking about. So I won't go into that. It's for a whole another training. Social media script, though, that you might want to use to start you off is, I've literally plagiarised this off of Craig. It had Craig's name in there in London and Melbourne. I use this, though, all the time, so I thought it was as good as any. I use it all the time. Hi, my name is, and I'm an entrepreneur from London or wherever you are. We're friends on, already linked to them. I didn't, when I linked to them, I didn't crack them immediately. They knew. If I tried cracking onto them immediately, they knew that I was a network marketeer or somebody trying to flog something anyway. But I go on, I say, I noticed that you're involved in, and it might be home business, but it might be entrepreneurial business. And so I find something that's relevant, and I link to it, and I mirror, and I do the things that we've talked about through this. Okay, so I'm not going to go into that in more detail. The last one of the night, and I thank you for your patience, those that are still on. The mission, Mission Next 30. Now, this is something that Craig set, and he thinks is brilliant. I think it is, and I think everybody can do this, but I think we've got to get into our own pace, and I think we've got to do message one a day first. So here I'm going to touch on just what he said. He did this in August, so it's a little while back, and he said to his conference that he believed that they could focus on enrolling 30 people by the end of the year. Now, if you just set it as a goal, it doesn't matter whether you achieve it or not. It's about committing, and it's about trying, and it's about basically giving yourself momentum. Now, I'm a pretty confident person, and I'm pretty confident I could enroll 30 people by the end of this year. But most people in this business that I bring in and I work with just should message one a day. And bring 2 in as customers and 1 in as a member of their business. That, to me, is duplicatable. So Mission Next 30 is up to you whether you want to take up that challenge. If you do, I'll work with you and I'll mentor you. So, again, I want to say thank you for your time this evening. I'm just going to give you that one snippet for those that haven't heard it, and I'm very happy for those that just drop off who have heard it. Why am I in this? Who am I? Very quickly. I'm Doug James. I'm in this by timing, and I'm in this by luck. I'm in this because of a product called Instantly Ageless. I'm in it because of a guy called Giles Murray. He exposed me. He shared it with me. He therefore enabled me to buy the product. Or actually, I got a free sample. My wife did, and it changed my life forever and for the better. I was already selling a business because I'd decided that I didn't want to do it. It was old world. I was in the top of the game. I was in top 5 of the industry and in the UK and Europe. And I decided that I would capitalize. So, yeah, maybe I'm fortunate and lucky, but I decided I would, after those 20 years of hard work to get to that point, I would sell my business. And I would move into something that was more futuristic. And I knew this marketplace in terms of the products and so forth. So that's why I'm in this. It's all about my life, and it's all about my family's life. I have a young child, 2 young children, a 1.5-year-old, and I have a 7-year-old. And I wanted to spend a lot of time with them. It's a short life. It's not a dress rehearsal. And I wanted to travel the world. In the fortunate place that I am now, but I want to travel it in a way that's even more fortunate. And I want to go to all the far corners of the earth. And then if I tell you the last thing about myself very personally, and some of you probably know from having talked to me one-on-one, I absolutely love helping others. I love the old Asian philosophy, what goes around comes around. I love the karma. And so for me, if I can help others achieve their why, achieve their goal, it will make me have a better life, I believe. And I've now, as some of you know, absolutely gobsmacked with Zen and how it saved and changed my cousin's life. She will tell you, she's Judith, she promotes in here and she puts the videos up, but 24 stone down to what she is today. She will always kill me for saying that weight in the first place, but it's revolutionised her life. So I believe that I can actually do some good business as well globally, not just about helping people make money and change their lives, but I think we can help a lot of people who will never join the business just by certain product, and it will be great for them. So I thank you for your time. I'm really grateful, and I apologise that I've spent way too long going into too much detail probably tonight for this, but if it's any good, the recording, I'll put it up in the Facebook group, put it on the YouTube channel. Any questions you've got, come back to me one-on-ones or in groups. And if you want a succinct, more detailed, you grab the video. If you want a succinct, rather, you can ask me about the detailed bits of any of these 1 to 14 areas. But promoting and enrolling is the only way forwards to build a business. Thank you guys for your time this evening.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I will look out for any messages. If anybody does want to have any conversation with me via social media tonight or tomorrow, please do. And then I'm very happy to set up one-on-ones, as I've said before. So, again, I'm happy. You'll find my number in the social media anyway, so in the Facebook group. So, yeah, look forward to speaking with some of you and look forward to working with all of you over the next weeks, months and years. Cheers, guys.